What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the H-Town Rundown. This is your boy AD, and I got my co-hosts in the building, Mike G, C-Roll, and Jules. What up, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's going on? What on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening?
Yeah, it's Tuesday night, man. Houston Texans had a fun time at the NFL draft,
Yes, we did.
especially day 2 and 3.
Right.
They picked 9 players on Saturday. Was it Friday and Saturday?
Friday and Saturday.
We went live on Friday. Got a lot of our live reaction on what the hell happened for the first 3 picks of the draft.
Right, AD.
But we here to break down the draft, man. We're here to break down this draft class for the Houston Texans. We're gonna talk about it, man. Shout out to Texan Fan in Rehab and Preston. Of course, he was there. He's our host for the Rockets podcast. He was live with us on Friday as well. And of course, DJ Wallace. Shout out y'all, man, for coming in early. Thank you for all the people that come and watch us live, even though y'all don't get to see our favorite guests. People come on and all that. Unsullied by guests.
Shots fired.
King Flocka say happy late birthday to the number one hater of it's Noah King Flocka. It's Noah, not Tor. Thank you, brother. Thank you. But yeah, man, let's talk about the news and notes right now, man. Tank Dell was in the news this past weekend, should I say, after being involved in a quote unquote mass shooting, where 10 people were injured, and he was one of those 10 people in Florida. And he luckily he got out of that situation after being in the middle of the shooter and the antagonist, or however it goes. I don't know who the 2 people that were going at it. He was directly in the middle, and he survived with only a minor injury. Was released, and he's already back in Houston. So prayers up to Tank Dell. Hopefully makes a full recovery soon. And let's see what he do with the Texans this year. So
yeah, he was trying to be a peacekeeper and try to keep everybody calm down and not escalate the situation. So sometimes what they call it, say you get no good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah, thank God he's okay. Shout out to the security guard who got the shooter down and saved some lives for sure. Yeah, man, just happy he's okay.
Yeah, scary moment. Go ahead, Chris.
We'll say this: some young athletes need to practice staying out of situations like that. That was kind of a reckless environment, man. He shouldn't be in the environment any way it goes.
Yeah. I think he's still trying to. I think Shannon Sharp said it best. He's still in the mode of I'm still trying to show the hood. I'm still regular.
Right.
Even though I'm high profile, I'm made an NFL roster. Probably gonna be one of the top receivers in the league. I'm still that dude. I'm still the dude y'all grew up with. So there we go, Chris. There we go.
All right.
Can we hear you? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
All right. So yeah, man, I think that was just a case of Tank Dell just trying to, say he's still, still part of the community and everything that he grew up in. But, thankfully, nothing major happened, and hopefully everybody sit their ass down for the remainder of the summer. Shout out to Blue Boy Shine in the chat. But yeah, man, let's go ahead right into it. Let's start talking about it. The first pick for the Houston Texans in the 2024 NFL Draft, they selected at pick number 42, Kamari Lassiter.
Football player,
yeah, okay. Let's talk about it. And we got Kamari Lassiter. So we're gonna play some highlights in the background, and we're gonna talk about Kamari as a player, how he fits on the Houston Texans going forward. But y'all see him, y'all see it already. He's aggressive. First highlight, him coming up, sticking his nose in there. If y'all seen him without his helmet,
I mean, it's fitting
Like,
for Chip because he's got that dog in him, man.
he looked like a damn pit bull. Goddamn.
Right. He has played the last 3 years in the playoffs and are on the verge of playoffs. He has experience. He has pedigree. He's been coached up from a great Georgia defense the last 3 years. He knows how to play ball. His speed may be an issue on certain routes and certain receivers, but that's why you have him as your number two receiver or nickelback, where you're not covering number one guys who blatant speed. And if you do have a situation where you have a blatant speed, you always have a safety over top of him, so it can get beat deep. So you can scheme his speed out of his weaknesses to make sure he can cover to 10 yards.
Hey, King Flocka say finally a corner that won't be cooked off the jump like a certain Nelson. And then Just Fans, shout out to Just Fans podcast. I was on their pod last night. Y'all go check out that episode where we broke down and we talked about the draft picks as well. But yeah, shout out to Just Fans podcast. Y'all go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to their podcast as well.
Yeah, his speed won't be a weakness unless you go on straight routes and double moves. But that's why I say you always have a safety on top of him to mitigate that threat.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why they say he's a slot corner, he's going to play inside. So I don't think, he's not going to be a boundary corner for the Houston Texans. I don't think.
I can see him playing both.
Yeah, the talk is he going to play both.
I mean, you drafted him to be a boundary corner,
right?
I don't think they draft. If they were shooting for a slot corner, they should have went for Mike Sanderstrip, or they should have went for a straight corner, legitimate corner. I think he's going to be outside, like he says, until he, like how they talk about the tackle.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tackle until he ain't a tackle.
Right.
I think he's a cornerback, outside corner until he ain't an outside corner.
Yeah, I mean he's very, very productive, man. But I know he was a lockdown corner in the SEC, but I will say the SEC did not have the type of talent at receiver this past year.
But you go 3 years. If you go 3 years, he been lockdown corner.
But he wasn't a starter 3 years.
But he still got reps though. He's still out there though.
You gotta remember they had Kelly Ringo, they had what's the other guys? They had a couple corners out. They just came out of Georgia. Like that, this is like a factory. So I mean, he's played, but it's like this past year is where he really got productive and played a lot.
Right.
Oh, but I'm sorry, did you say the SEC didn't have like star receivers?
No, I said they didn't have the talent like they, like it was talent depleted. They had some star receivers like Luther Burden, like that guy right there that he locked up. He's going to be probably the first receiver taken in next year's draft. But if you look at across the SEC, I mean, how many
two first rounders at LSU?
Yeah,
I mean, he played against Leggett too.
That was it.
Tennessee.
I mean, I still think you downplay the young man.
But
compared to recent years, you're right.
Compared to recent years, the talent ain't as like the gap is not as big as it was before, as far, especially at receiver. Yeah, you had the three. You had BTJ, you had Neighbors, and you had Leggett, but who were first round picks. But what other SEC receivers were drafted?
You only go play with in front of you.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
You only play with in front of you. As long as he played in front of him and he
Right.
did well.
I mean, and if you look at it, his highlights, I think they didn't play LSU this year, I don't think. But all his highlights you see against Leggett, against Byrd.
One of the big things about him, AD, is he plays very well in zone.
Mm-hmm.
We play a lot of zone. We usually start off in zone, and he's real lengthy in zone. He never gets lost in zone. So that's a big thing. And then when he plays man, he's not afraid to play press corner.
Right.
So that helps him slow the guys down. If he's not as fast as them, he can bump them off their routes early on in their route. So
I saw one comparison where he was his measurements and his speed, the same thing as Rondé Barber.
Yeah, right. But they say his 3-cone was elite.
Right.
Which makes a lot of sense. I think, and they said his 40 time wasn't as bad. He had the combine. He ran a 4.6. Shout out Caleb, man. Y'all know Caleb on Twitter, man. We all know Caleb. Shout out. He said keep on doing that thing. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. but for sure, I think he ran a 4.5 or something like that. Um, a 4.5, a 4.5 and a 40 at his pro day.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, I think that's more truer. Even if you want to split the pig, I think he's. If you want to say he ran a 4.54 or something like that, or 4.55, to me that's still not that bad of a time. Yes, it's not blazing, but at the end of the day, we do have Derek Stingley on this team, who is a 4.3 blazer type of corner. So if you have, King Flocka said it best. He said 4.51 speed is enough. For sure, for sure.
It is.
Very technically sound. Very good run defender, which is important.
Especially for number two.
Mhm,
Yeah, very physical. Obviously, I mean, it jumps off the page with this guy.
mhm.
Um, and he brings the energy to the defense, which we need, especially in the back end. So,
That's right.
I'm gonna say is Henderson and Jeff Okuda have run 4.3 4.4s, and they
Yeah.
can't play worth the shit. So if this cat can play with a 4.5.
They,
I'm happy with
look,
it.
I'm not gonna say that they can play. They just can't stay healthy.
Well, helping is part of not playing either. So it is what it is.
But I do want him to do. I do want Kamari to do one thing, man. I need Kamari to go with Tank Dell and all them and Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs and go to that jugs machine. Cause I don't know what. Or you know what? If y'all have people, if anybody's seen the movie Little Giants,
You can't
anybody seen the
catch.
movie Little Giants, the little
Yes.
receiver.
The
And we need
sticky
to go
hands.
ahead and put some stickum on his hands,
Yes.
mhm.
so he can catch some passes, man, some interceptions. He has a lot of instinctual traits as far as like especially going to the ball. Like
Mhm.
he's one of those see ball get ball players.
Yes.
Um, and so he has the instincts where honestly I think if in a perfect world if he had sticky hands, he probably could be pushing that interception record, because he's in the right place in the right time. You look at all these highlights, I think he dropped 5 interceptions in a 2 minute highlight,
Hey,
so
you know what they say? All cornerbacks are receivers who can't catch.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
but overall, man, I think he's gonna be a great addition to the team. I think he plays sparingly. I think he's gonna, of course, be in a rotation. In that DB room, in the cornerback room. What you say, Mike? You barely.
No, I think he could beat out. I mean, I think it's between him and
Henderson,
Akuda for
Kuda,
the number 2 role.
the starter.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
I don't think he starts. I don't think he starts game one, game two. I tell you right now, I don't think he gets like.
he will make starts this season.
Yes,
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely, definitely,
But
definitely.
for those that say he's not fast enough, in the wise words of our general manager, I'm not signing the track team here.
And speaking of that, Blue Boy Sean said, "I'm sick and tired of Nick Casario thinking we don't need to go after pure athletes." That's that New England mindset.
I mean, but wasn't Stingley a true athlete? Wasn't Will Anderson a true athlete?
Stingley was the
Ain't
best player on the board, man.
and wasn't CJ ain't CJ a pure athlete?
CJ who?
CJ, your quarterback.
No, it's playing.
No, that would have been
Just playing.
that would have been Anthony Richardson, the
No,
backup.
but I mean the
Now,
boy can play
CJ's a
basketball and
pure
baseball.
athlete because he played multiple sports. You
Right,
can't be a non-athlete playing all the different sports.
and playing well.
Yeah, I mean, did y'all see him throw out the first pitch at the Astros game? The boy played baseball really well.
The boy can hoop.
Yeah, we know that. We saw him at the All Star game, the
Mm-hmm.
celebrity game.
Yeah, he's
Um,
an athlete.
We saw him leaving the All Star game too.
hey,
He all star.
hey,
Mhm.
Blue Boy Shine say you can have all the skill in the world if you can't keep up with 4-3 receivers. If you ain't got the strength to put a linebacker D line in the dirt, if you can't separate from the Ladarius Sneaks of the world, it won't matter. Um,
I don't know exactly what he's saying there.
yeah,
Hey,
kind of
bro, look.
all over the place.
Yeah, bro. Like
Uh,
you scheme and you have coverage calls for
Hey,
right.
guys who can't cover. His only time his 4.6, 4.5 gonna come at Henderson is front line speed back and forth, long
Yeah.
strides. But that's why you have safeties for. That's why
Right.
you have our third round pick for.
So
Is he gonna lock down Tyreek Hill? Probably not, but who
ain't
is?
nobody can lock
But
down
Right.
Tyreek
but
Hill.
also the difference maker is going to be that pass rush because we're going to
Yeah.
have it with the edge. So
Right.
And
On,
he's used to
on,
playing, with a killer pass rush at Georgia, so
yes,
he understands that very well.
and the only reason Sneak kept up with Tyreek Hill in the playoff game because it was on ice.
So
Let's be real.
I
Mhm.
want to just sing King Flocka said, "Man, true athletes got his bums that we got as bums, such as Kahali Waring and Lonnie. Give me football players."
Right. There you go, King
Yeah,
Flocka. We don't
but
always agree, but that one I agree on that one, buddy.
so because Kamari was our first pick, we spent quite a bit of time talking about him. But there's some ones at the very end. I can guarantee y'all it's gonna be because it ain't much to talk about. But we will break down the players, man. So the next player we're gonna talk about, unfortunately, um, is the guy we drafted at 59,
good old Balake.
Balake.
A future starter.
Balake, man. I started in 2027. Balake Fisher. Um, but now let's look at it. Offensive tackle. Really, he's an offensive guard. They lied on that. He's not 6'6", he's 6'4". Yeah, I don't know where they got these numbers from, but let's talk about it, man.
Those are his Notre Dame numbers. His college
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
numbers.
his
Notre Dame
yeah. I
numbers
was like,
exactly.
Right. It's the same thing that they say to us. Sweat played at 355, and you
mm-hmm.
in Texas.
Oh hell no, he played at 400
There we go.
easy.
I mean, he's a future right tackle.
Yeah, I mean he can play left too though.
Yeah,
He's athletic enough. I just don't like that his knees touch when he
yeah,
walks.
but if you watch his tape, I think he's a better
Oh,
run
definitely,
tackle.
most definitely.
Yes.
He's something that we sorely needed that we haven't had is a run blocking tackle. We haven't had a run blocking tackle since I don't know when. Since what, Dwayne Brown maybe, or shit, I don't know. What's the guy with the dress wore 75 that tore both his patella?
Derek Newton.
Eric
Derek
Newton.
Derek
Newton.
Newton. That's about
Yeah,
the last time we had a good run blocking offensive tackle. And I don't even know if he was great at run blocking.
Newton was
But
all
you
right.
see him here. I do think he has a nasty streak to him. He doesn't give up. He fights throughout the whole play.
Second
Um,
level that time.
yeah, he got to the
Yeah.
second level, and he doesn't like give up on blocks, and that's something I like too. You know, if you want to critique Titus Howard on anything, Titus Howard is lazy. I've said it multiple times. That's my main critique with Titus Howard. Titus Howard has the ability to be one of the best tackles in the league, but Titus
Ooh.
Howard has his lazy
Go back to
streaks.
go back to that play real quick, if you can. I think he gets beat. I think he gets beat that one pretty badly.
Which one? The interception?
Yeah.
Well, they say he has stiff hips and core, so they say
Right.
he's very very stiff.
Mhm.
But it's kind of is that's the one they were talking about where they say because he's stiff he has balance issues. And you see him get tossed around right there by number 11 for Clemson.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but that's that to me the critique
What is
is
that the dude that hurt Kenny Green?
no man no.
Oh,
What's the same dude?
he got beat pretty bad that one.
I don't think whatchamacallit Warrior living in college.
Yeah, he did.
Ooh, that chop
The
got him.
white dude?
He
Was he? But
recovered.
this dude was black.
No, it was a white dude, wasn't it?
He recovered from that chop pretty well. He got chopped and he recovered.
No, you're right. It was
Pretty
it was the dude. It was the dude.
Mm-hmm.
And
strong
he
on
got
attack.
thrown again by number 1 from
Yeah,
Louisville.
was that supposed to be on his highlight reel?
Right.
I don't
No,
think
I
this is a
mean,
highlight. I think this is just a telltale of who he. Let me be
who he
honest,
is.
people. Let me be honest, people. There's only like 3 highlight tapes.
Recover. He got recovered right there.
There's only three decent YouTube clips of this guy, and I'm just picking and choosing, man. At the end of
That's
the
pretty
day,
good.
but I mean, he's a good tackle, man. I still don't think he was worth the 59th pick in the draft. And I had this conversation on the Just Fans podcast last night with Carlos Rios and Poppy. And I was talking to him about it, and I honestly think the Green Bay Packers had our draft board. And the reason why I say that, not because of Adrian Cooper, I don't want to go down the Adrian Cooper route, but they had 3 picks in the second round. They jumped us at 41.
Yeah.
They took Kool-Aid.
No. That was the
No.
Saints.
That was New Orleans.
I'm sorry.
New Orleans.
Why did I think the Packers?
Okay. They took Cooper because you got Cooper on your mind.
But the Packers did. The Packers did jump us at 58, and they took Bullard.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
safety
Packers
from
was
Georgia.
already at 58.
Huh?
Right.
The Packers were already at 58.
They were.
They,
I thought
yeah,
they traded up.
They traded up.
The Packers
New Orleans were 58, and they traded up and got back in front of us, so the New Orleans can get Kool-Aid.
The Packers was at 41 to begin with, and they was at 58 to begin with. They was right in front of us both picks.
Okay. So what the pick? Let me say this because I probably was a little drunk. I was kind of pissed off.
No, you wasn't drunk with no alcohol. You was pissed
I was pissed
off with the 42 pick.
So I wasn't pissed off with 42. I was pissed off with 59. But 59 is when I checked out. But regardless of how it went, I feel like the players selected before we picked were the players that the Houston Texans targeted. I feel like Kool-Aid McKinstry was the guy that Nick Caserio had been targeting and was looking to trade up for. And then when the rumor came out from Diana Rossini that the Houston Texans were making calls to move up and back in the first round, I think Kool-Aid was the guy that they were going up to try to get. And the fact that he was falling and he was right there, I can almost put money on it that if Kool-Aid was there at 42, Kool-Aid would have been the pick at 42.
So was that pick worth the third round pick to move up to top of second? That's what it cost. That's what it cost you.
No, because I mean, Kool-Aid is a great corner. He's a great corner, but I think the distance between Larry said Kool-Aid was the guy. I think the distance between Kool-Aid and Lassiter, when it's all said and done, I don't think the gap will be that great.
There we go. So is it worth trading up to get the guy you really wanted?
Yeah.
It is in the mindset if you believe that wholeheartedly in that guy. If you feel like he's a game changer, you feel like he's gonna be a cornerstone of your franchise, then that's why they traded up for Will Anderson.
So I guess they didn't have that big the difference between Kool-Aid and Lassiter.
I mean, what Nick Caserio say? He got him in a group, and so stay in the group. He cool with it, but same thing with 59. Because we're talking about Fisher right now.
Mm-hmm.
Bullock. I feel like if Bullard, the safety from Georgia, Bullard was there at 59. The Houston Texans would have taken Bullard at 59 because we actually brought him in for a visit, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right.
So
top visit.
Yeah.
So we were going to double down with the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Well, no, what I'm saying, I think at that point we probably would have because we had Lassiter, but I think that the in a perfect scenario, because they were literally one pick away from both players, it would have been Kool-Aid and Bullard as the first 2 picks for the Houston Texans. But that's not a knock on Fisher, man. He's a good player. He's gonna be a developmental tackle. He's not gonna see much playing time unless there's some injuries. I know the haters and people that hate Titus and everything like that, well, is almost guaranteeing there's gonna be injuries. But if you look at how it works in the NFL, the team that has the most injuries in a season, usually the following season is one of the healthiest teams in the NFL.
So you don't think he see the field?
I don't honestly. If Titus and Tunsil are healthy, he does not touch the field, but sparingly on plays where we in goal line situations and we got an extra tackle.
Right, jumbo.
Jumbo packages. That's when you would see him, and you talking about maybe outside of extra point field goals. You may see him on the field 30 snaps total for the season or something like that, maybe, if
Do you think
nobody's injured.
he gets more playing time or more emphasis over Heck because he's a draft pick and he can be part of the future?
I think they brought Heck back as insurance along with David Sharp.
That's why I
But
didn't understand that pick, man.
yeah,
You drafting a guy who's not going to see the field in the second round. There's so many other guys that you could have drafted that could have gave you an impact, and I think it threw off the whole rest of the draft.
yeah. King Flocka said he's 21. At least he has time to learn from Tunsil and Howard. I mean, that as people say it don't make sense
You could have got
to.
that next year. You could have got
I
that
know,
next year.
I know, but I think according to people, they saying this was the draft. You get your tackles and your wide receivers because next year is not going to be as prominent for both those positions.
Yeah, I'll play devil's advocate here. I mean, which is ironic since I was super livid with the pick initially. I mean, y'all can go back and watch the live stream. I'm probably saying, "Oh, what are we going to do next? Draft a punter? What are we doing?"
That was your exact words, buddy.
Probably was. But I'll say this: like Tunsil and Howard. I know we talked about this before last season. Where how often has it been where Tunsil and Howard both stay healthy over the course of the whole season? Now, you don't want to invest a second round pick in a guy just for that. But let's face it, I mean, that's big. And you get down the stretch, you're facing the Chiefs, you're facing the Ravens, you're facing the Steelers. You don't want to be screwed, and no offense, Jules. You don't be screwed where you have to put in
Charlie goddamn hit.
Heck and go, oh shit. We're fucked.
Hey, at this point, I'm not mad they cut Heck.
Hey, but Yvonne, y'all know Yvonne. Shout out Yvonne. She pulled up on the Just Fans podcast last night. She said, make sure y'all all like and subscribe to the podcast. Y'all see it down below. Go ahead and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast. Not subscribe, but follow the podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Y'all go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button on YouTube and get our numbers up, man.
I think everybody be surprised the trajectory of Fisher going forward. I think everybody gonna be surprised because I know I was.
Hold on. King Flocka said, "Can I say the draft stream y'all had was hilarious, especially how y'all look defeated."
Bro, they were defeated, King Flocka. All three of them, they just lost it all the time. The whole for 3 rounds, they just were gone.
Look, shout out, hey Auntie Swan in the building. And then Larry Payne said, "Heck is only a right tackle, so he limits game day roster."
Heck would not be here, probably going towards after training camp.
So this is the point I was going to talk about. King Sam said, "I think it's an excellent pick. Titus won't be here long. Can't wait till he's gone to try to replace him."
Is that Bab on his burner?
Nah, man. Bab ain't. Look, if Bab got a black burner, Bab in a whole nother issue. He got a whole.
Some gangster shit.
TJ Williams said, "I missed all of C-Roll's reactions to the draft. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it."
Oh, it was hilarious.
Well, no, let's talk about. We got another pick number.
Hold on. I know it takes a lot for Jews to say that.
But I mean, a real talk about. I mean, Heck been here 4 years. I mean, he hasn't really improved. He hasn't really shown. He was hurt all of last year. At this point, you can't keep players who don't show potential or they can get better. And it's time for him to go. Same thing that people get mad at DP. DP got to go.
Yeah.
You know what I think a lot of the anger for me was. It was because I'm expecting us to be in win now mode. That's what everybody projected us once we had this amazing off season. Oh, hey, look at the Houston Texans. They're going all in. They are going all. I mean, they went and got Mixon and Jeff Okudah and Daniel Hunter and all these and Diggs. That's how you go all in. They're expecting to win the Super Bowl this year and next year. So when you do that, then I thought that you were just going to add more and more explosion that can give you impact this year or next year on your roster in the second round. But instead, we went for backup player.
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I was against that, because if you're gonna go for a backup player with Fisher, you might as well wait it until next year to do that. If you've seen, okay, I think
So
Heck could last us for another year at swing tackle.
No, he couldn't.
Yeah,
where
I
he
mean,
gonna swing, Chris?
No, he couldn't.
It ain't
At
to
that,
the left.
hey,
he'll
I know.
do something.
I'm a huge Heck fan.
But you
I'm
think
telling
they're
you right
still
now,
gonna get in and do something?
Heck has not shown he's capable of
Hey,
improving.
just for reference, because I want to be a little devil's advocate here too, like Mike. Charlie Heck played and started, I think, 2 to 3 games last year,
Right.
and didn't play well at all. And I understand he was coming back. And let's not misconstrued anything as well. He was coming off a serious injury that almost potentially had him out for the season.
Correct.
And he came back off a pup and he came back to play. So we appreciate that. But he did not play to the level that made Jules fall in love with him. Pause.
Right.
And I do want to address this Blue Boy Shine because I don't want to keep harping on this. I don't want this to take up the rest of the podcast.
Right.
But he said, yeah, we got 7 more players to talk about. And Blue Boy Shine said, I don't understand why so many people against the Blake Fisher pick. Titus Howard had one good game against Miles Garrett 2 years ago. Ever since people have been saying he's elite, I think not. I think you're and then he backdoored and said Titus Howard is the most overrated player on this team by far, not even close.
Well, hold on. Let me.
Titus Howard has never been dominant. I'm trying to understand what people have been seeing. Plus, he missed more games than Tunsil. Blake will be the starter by mid-season. I'd bet money on it.
I thank God I trust my own eyes.
Well,
What these dudes be talking about, man?
so Tyus Howard has never shown he wasn't. First of all, no one ever called him elite. Let's get that straight right now.
Everybody said he had potential.
Potential be like, and he's never fulfilled that potential because the organization keeps knocking his trajectory and his focus because they make him play right guard, left tackle, right guard. So he's never ever had the opportunity to show if he could be a dominant right tackle.
Right tackle, right.
And the fact that the reason why he got paid, and I want to make this very clear. Me and you talked about this a couple days ago. The reason why he got paid top money is because he's a top team player. Wherever they wanted him to be, he said, "Okay, let me do it," and that's what they rewarded.
Damn
They
right.
didn't reward him because he played tackle. Because if you go by the number of snaps he played at right tackle, it was not enough significant to make him that kind of money.
The thing is, you keep moving from guard to tackle to guard, you're gonna get injured, man. Because your muscles are doing different shit that you're not used to doing.
Just so everybody understands, do y'all know in Titus Howard's 4 years he's been on the Texans roster, he's played every position on the offensive line except center, and played multiple games at every position on the offensive line except center.
And if they ask him to play center, he'll play center too for him.
He would have played center too. Brandon said, hot take, a rating draft for Texans considering we traded our real first rounder this year for Will Anderson, and they thought they were going to get a number 2, but got a 27. Got the 27 pick.
And then we trade the first round. So our draft as a whole is won't we missed that first round talent because we traded out and got Diggs.
Listen here, man. People need to understand something. There ain't but about 5 elite tackles in the league.
Right.
There's only about 4 or 5 great and standout elite tackles. I mean, the ones that deserve the money. People pay these tackles a lot of money because if you're good, they know there's not very many great ones out there, so they hold on to the good ones.
Right.
Titus Howard at right tackle is probably a top 7 to 8 right tackle in this league.
At least at the very least top 10.
Right
tackle. So let's if you want to talk about the because we do need to move on.
We gotta move on.
If you got that, you hold on to that.
Right. Just so you know, the top elite tackles, of course, Trent Williams, Larry Tunsil's in that conversation. I think his name Panay Sewell, who just got paid.
Yep.
He's in that. He's in that top conversation.
Slater.
Andrew Thomas is in that. Is it Andrew Thomas? What's the tackle from the Giants?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put him that high, but
I mean he's on the rise to be.
Yeah,
but
he's up there.
We can talk about this during the offseason, guys. We still got to come up.
I agree with Byrd. Titus ain't going nowhere. We should be talking about the other tackle, but and then King Sam said he's paid as a top 5 for now. I mean, then he just got his contract extension last year, and I guarantee you by the beginning of the season next year, that top 5 is gonna drop.
Listen, man, if you let Titus Howard go, we will be scratching our heads at what the hell we're gonna do next year, right?
So Corey Bear said Andrew Thomas is an all-pro. That's why I brought him into that conversation. And then Brandon said it takes at least a year or 2 for a rookie tackle to develop.
Hey, bing, 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 bing.
The only problem is Titus Howard never got to play tackle as a rookie and a second-year player. He ended up having to play guard both years.
Yeah, it does take a while because I mean Andrew Thomas was trash as a rookie, but he got a lot better. So
can we talk about my favorite person of the draft?
Yeah, let's talk about what I feel like is the best pick of the draft.
There we go.
No, that's the best.
Look here.
Well, look.
Yeah.
Chris, we already know what's coming. We're gonna single you out.
If you stop getting off task, we can talk about it.
I mean, I'm just correcting what's wrong. What was said was wrong. That's all.
Let's go.
So let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about the next player. And it is Calen Bullock, man.
Free safety.
Hold on. We traded up to get Calen Bullock.
Yeah.
In the third round, pick 78. We traded up from 86 to 78 to get Calen Bullock.
Yes.
I see the critique about his tackling. He is a hitter, but he does not wrap up.
Yes.
But he is a ball hawk, and he wraps his hands around those ball paws, man. I walk right into that one. Goddamn.
No diddy.
I walk right into that one, pause.
Look at that range, man.
And that's what I've been free. That's all I wanted. I wanted somebody who has range.
Look at that range. That's 10 foot in the air, man.
He can,
man. You see that range? He's flying around the field, y'all. He just needs to gain some weight in his shoulders. Put some biceps on him and get in that squat room.
Yeah.
He gonna add some weight and some muscle. Yeah. He gonna add some muscle to it.
Did I need to say pause about something?
No.
They need to say pause 4 times. What he was saying.
But now y'all see him, man. He's I like the fact that he's physical.
Right.
He's not afraid of contact.
What makes him great for us is that he does what nobody else can do on our team, which is play free range and back in the back.
He have a physical safety.
He can roam the backside. Petrie can't do it. Jimmy Ward can't do it. He can range from sideline to sideline in that backfield, which means if Lassiter needs some help, there's your help right there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for seeing how you scheme past somebody who runs a 4-6.
Yes, sir.
With somebody who has range.
Yes, sir.
The New England Patriots did it for 8 years straight with their number 1 receiver.
Well, if you look at San Francisco with DeMeco Ryans, the corners he had weren't burner corners anyway. I think Stingley is an exception to what DeMeco Ryans has had at corner. They went and got a Richard Sherman, who is a 4'6", 40 guy, but he's one of the best cover corners in the league. So
look at that, bro. Look at that,
man.
I don't think he caught it, but damn, the fact that the effort alone.
Right, he dug about 5 yards trying to dive to get the ball.
Right, and for people saying, well, he can't. When people say he can't tackle, he ain't here for tackling. That's why we got Jalen for.
King Flocka say finally a ball hawk safety. Praise the Lord.
Yes.
Brandon said, I think we traded ahead of the Rams to grab Bullock because the Rams wanted to keep him in LA. This is the
makes sense.
It remind me of myself right there.
And then Brandon also said I hope Bullock is watching Justin Simmons tape right now. And he said, getting tired of watching wide receiver highlight films and seeing Petrie featured.
Right. I mean, if you go to the effort he tried to interception, If he had better technique of how to more body control, he
Mm.
makes that interception.
Yeah, I mean, then you got it again. An A pick for Bullock, according to Larry Payton.
Yeah, hey, that's a hey
Um,
for sure.
and then here we go. He said Bullock gonna be catching passes from Will Levis, Lawrence, and AR this season.
You know,
Huh?
you notice something about his game other than just being a ball hawk and doing everything on USC's defense because USC's defense overall was trash. He swarms.
Mm.
Yeah, he does.
He
Texas.
swarms the football.
What
I
number
mean,
did they give him? What number did they give him?
We don't even want to talk about the numbers, Chris, because I don't even think they're gonna be the numbers when the season starts.
Yeah, they don't.
I
I
think
mean,
that
the reason
only
he gets
one
the
I think
pay,
that's gonna stick. Only one that I think gonna stick is the one that Stover got, which was 87. That's a nice little nasty number for a tight end.
Yeah.
and the reason why he gets a strong A is not only was he one of the best players on the board, he fits an immediate need for this team.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
And Jimmy Ward might not last too long. I hope he does.
Jimmy
41.
Ward won't last out of training camp with his hamstrings.
There you go, King Flocka. Swarm, baby, swarm. But yeah, man. I mean, I think he was one of the best picks in the draft if not the best pick in the draft. Um,
Mm-mm.
when it comes to need
Mhm.
and potential and fit, he checked all
Right.
those boxes, and I
Right.
think
And
that's why.
value too.
And
Yeah,
value. Even
value
it
as
costs
well.
a trade up to get him.
Because I think he was valued at a second round pick,
Mm-hmm.
and he was taken in the third. So, yeah, he definitely needs to add muscle to his frame, Brandon. And he once again we got a lot of young guys outside of
Right.
Stover. We got a lot of 20 and 21-year-old guys. So
Mhm.
we got they're a young nucleus that we're building. But shout out to Calen Bullock, man. He's going to be a very, very impactful player this season. I think he's going to see the field the most next to the boy we're going to talk about with Chris later, man. But
Let's go to
other than that,
our fourth pick.
let's go ahead and go to the next pick. And it's a friendly friend of CJ Stroud. Y'all all know him, man. It's the Barry says he's like I like Kamari the best. I understand it. He said locksmith Lassiter on the lockdown defense is a vibe. He said locksmith Lassiter.
Mhm.
And so let's go ahead and talk about CJ's new target, Cade Stover, man. Most of these highlights are gonna be from CJ to Cade.
Mhm.
So
Right.
let's talk about Cade Stover. What are y'all thoughts about Cade Stover?
I'll let everybody go first.
Yeah, I think he's a complete tight end. He can run, he can block, he can catch. Obviously, the chemistry you're going to see right there on screen with CJ Stroud, or not right there, but a good chunk of his highlights.
Mhm.
And he's got some yards at the catch ability. He's not Sam Laporta, but he doesn't just catch and fall down. He can make some plays after the catch as well. I like we got him. Obviously, CJ wanted him to. It gives us some insurance with Schultz and allows Schultz to just go catch the ball because we don't need him blocking a whole lot.
No, we need him to block a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if he's not going to put in that much effort
Right.
blocking, then
Good.
just get out there and catch the ball.
He is, man. I think that he is going to put in the effort to be a blocker. He has the frame to do it all. Just watching some of these, like the way he's running into contact, ain't no way in hell he's not giving that much effort on blocking. But
Yeah, I was referring to Schultz.
well, yeah. And then this comment here, he says one thing Cade does is he don't drop the football, unlike Schultz. That's a big thing. Larry Payton said A for Stover, and then he also said Bullock needs a few Papado platters. He need Papados and Papacitos and all the Papa. He need the Papa's chain, the Papa's barbecue, the Papa's burger, the steakhouse. All
Nah,
of
this comes through next song. We put some meat. We'll put meat on them.
Bears say this the best tight end we've had since Owen Daniels.
I agree.
Unpopular.
I'm gonna address this question just how Kate Stewart would talk during the interview. I think this is the fucking best fucking pick a motherfucker could have made. Motherfucker picked the right goddamn dude. And I tell you what, man, it's just have you ever tied a hog behind the legs and tied his ass up? Well, that's what the fuck I'm gonna do on this offensive line. I'm gonna help block. That's what the goddamn shit I do. That's what I'm getting paid to do, and I'm coming to Houston to do that shit. Somebody better get out my goddamn number, or else it's gonna be some shit when I get there. I'm paid Stover, and I don't give a fuck. So,
hey,
lovely commentary, sir. Lovely commentary.
hey, so
I love the way the school talk, bro.
Bear say, don't forget about Luby's. Papa's on them too.
His attitude is his game is more about his attitude. He's gonna learn how to block and learn how to run after the catch. He's only been doing it for a year and a half.
That's a bad tackle right there.
That should have been a flag, huh?
Yeah, it is a flag in the NFL this year.
Right. But his attitude alone is what makes that he's going to be great on this team, man. Because anybody with an attitude like that, he's only going to work hard. He's only going to want to improve and give you his all.
So. Yeah, he's a great pass catching tight end. He's a reliable, weapon, and this allows the Texans to play a 2 tight end set without giving up explosive play. Without giving up the ability to have explosive plays. Having him and Schultz, if they both going up the seam, one of them gonna be open.
Right.
Stover is the more physical type. I think I don't want to say he's gonna be like the Gronk because I don't think he'll nearly be the blocker that Gronk is. But I think if you look, I don't want to say that, but you look at no, I'm talking about the combination of tight ends like New England had. I didn't really want to mention his name, but the Hernandez and Gronk situation where Schultz will be Hernandez and you got Stover being the Gronk role, the better tight end. And again, this is a future pick. By the time Schultz's contract is up, it'll be time for Stover to take over as the lead tight end anyway. So yeah, it's a damn good pick in the 4th round. Great value for him. He said H might be also the best tight end since CJ Fedorowicz.
That's the only Iowa tight end that hasn't worked out in the last decade.
Well, let's talk. Let's 1 second. Only reason why he didn't work out is because he kept getting his head rocked.
Right.
So if he didn't have the concussions, he was turning the corner. I'm gonna stand by this. I don't care what nobody say. CJ Fedorowicz was turning the corner and was going to be
slow. He kept getting hit.
Hey, in Houston, we ride slow, man. What you talking about?
He runs slow.
my only knock against Stover was not because his tape or his ability. It was that fans only wanted because he was CJ's homeboy.
Yeah, and that.
I could not.
He wasn't even CJ. He wasn't even CJ homeboy. Let's be real about it.
Well, the people just saying that they want to be
CJ's teammate.
Teammate.
CJ homeboys is Tank Dell and John Mechie, and that's a whole different.
No, there was a report that he threw right before his pro day, and him and Cade been hanging him for right before the draft, and all the draft process.
I mean, but last year we saw it, and I know it's a small sample size, but CJ's 1 for 1 when it comes to scouting and getting the pick. So,
well, I will say this: watch out for Ricky Pearsall. If that motherfucker take off, we know CJ need to be in the draft room every draft.
I mean, if you watched CJ and Michael Parsons draft, 1st round draft, and this is how they've been talking, CJ knows ball.
Yes.
He knows the defenses. He knows offense. He knows schemes. He even corrected Michael Parsons, whose job was to stop his offense and say, "Man, how you gonna run this offense or this defense on me?" He's, "Oh yeah, let me change it up." Just showing you that what he knows on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But I still didn't want him just because he's CJ teammate. I needed the best player at the best draft pick at the time, and he was there.
Right. The value was there. Everything fit perfectly. I feel like we got him as a steal because I think he was the second. I think he was maybe the 2nd or 3rd rated tight end, and we got him in the 4th round.
Got him in the 3rd round.
I thought we got him. No, we got him in the fourth.
Fourth round.
Oh, excuse
Fourth
me. Yeah,
round.
you're right. Correct.
He's our fourth pick.
Yeah, he was our first pick in the fourth round, 123.
Yeah.
But let's move on, man. Let's talk about the next pick, which was Jamal Hill. In the fifth round, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mike or Jules or Chris, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
He was the next pick that we made.
188.
Linebacker from Oregon. I'm kind of sad because if you wanted a linebacker, you had one and you passed on him. But
He wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough to be on his team.
let me say this: I know one thing. When he Rick Hill in goddamn Green Bay, I'm gonna talk all my shit, and I already got a bet pending with our boy Tony Snow. For the stats of our boy Adrian Cooper, man. My boy Adrian Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
I like that play, man. I like the aggressiveness. It's most of his highlights are him blitzing.
Right.
And then Yvonne talking about
he's
embarrassed. Say don't be sad.
He's fast. He's aggressive. He used to be a safety, so he can recognize his offenses, schemes, and passing lanes, all that stuff. He has the vision. He has the range to go from side to side with the speed. He's little undersized because he was a safety at one point.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a player that he's pretty much fit for the special teams. Could he be somebody different? Can he project to be a starter? High unlikely, but under D'Amico Ryan's coaching ability, he put some weight on, and he might. Just never know.
Yeah, bring him in sub packages. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll compete for that number 3 role.
Yeah.
Where I mean, he mentioned that he's a project for D'Amico. Now he's got 2 projects. So
look, I'm gonna say this one time. I'm gonna say it. This be the last time I say it today. As long as Jamal Hill can see the field, that means I don't have to see Henry Noah. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna let it die and let it lay. But Jamal Hill is a damn good pick. Larry Payne said Hill is a D'Amico project. King Sam said, my guy, one of my favorite picks, huge upside.
The recognition right there. He found the right hole.
Right. And you got, like you said, Jules, he's a former safety. So he switched positions. He's still learning the linebacker position.
Right.
So I think he's gonna be great on blitz downs because I see him as he's seeking missile running at 4.41 in the 40. Straight line speed. And I think you see it right there, physical as hell. Ain't afraid to hit. Like you said again. Hold on. Barry said I wanted Wilson though. We almost had him. I didn't want injury prone Peyton Wilson.
And he can play. He can be a bigger nickel back in certain schemes.
This is what I was saying about the Adrian Cooper pick. This pick here, I don't want to talk about Josiah Norwood. Let's talk about Jamal Hill. This pick allows D'Amico to play 3 linebackers because you can put Jamal Hill in coverage and not be concerned at all. Hold on.
Yep.
Barry say Wilson does coke and balls out. And then Brandon said the Packers stole my whole mock draft. Adrian Cooper, Javon Bullard, and more. Good thing Casario is smarter than me. I mean, I think that's what we talked about earlier, Brandon, is that the Packers kind of took, the Packers and Saints took the picks that I feel like the Texans were going to take. I guess Jules had to go answer a call, but this we coming up right now. Any final thoughts on Jamal Hill before we give Chris the floor? Mike,
go ahead.
Chris, any more comments on Jamal Hill? Think he'll be a nice rotation piece in the linebacker room?
I do. I think he'll be a nice rotational piece in the linebacker room. I think it will make for Tua to allow him to push himself and make himself step up. It'll be a great deal if Tua steps up, man. I'm done mocking Tua. He was pretty horrible. He was pretty horrible his first year, and it kind of strayed away from him last year. I hope that he steps up his game But this kid here, he has the speed, he has everything you want in that third linebacker position. You can put him at Sam, and he can get out there and cover linebackers. He can be kind of your nickel linebacker, so you don't have to bring in a safety or a corner. You can just leave him out there. And then on top of that, you he's gonna be running down on kickoffs, running down on punts. So
excellent special teams player.
Excellent special teams player. So
yeah,
I agree. I like that pick a lot.
And you got to think about it, it's in the 6th round, so good value.
There's some gems in the 6th round. You know that, right?
Yeah, well, it's one coming up right here.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and solo it out, man.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and let Chris have the floor. Chris, you got to say his name right though. It's Gerard Jordan.
Drohar.
No, there we go. Okay, now you can't mess up the boy name now.
And with the 205th pick of the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Jaws Jordan, man. Yeah, man.
Chris, you ain't gotta play it in the background, man. We got it right here.
Got it right there.
We got it right here, man.
You got it right there, man. We'll play that, man. Play that right now.
We're gonna play it in the background.
Play that right now. Yeah, I know it, man. You know what it is, man. Yeah.
All right, Chris. You got Yvonne rolling right now. But let's go ahead and hit that play button on Gerard Jordan. Chris, talk about Gerard Jordan, man. Running back, Louisville.
Oh my God. Let me pull up my glasses so I can read this. Gerard Jordan. I mean, he averaged 28.5 yards per kickoff return. I think he had 1,100 and some odd yards for yards rushing this year. 11 touchdowns. He is explosive. He is fast. Joe Mixon had a running back at one time that helped him, that backed him up, and was perfect backup, a great comparison. Giovanni Bernard, and that's what he reminds you of. He's a little bit slower version of, in my opinion, like a Chris Johnson, or like a what was that other kid that, or Jamal Charles.
Chris Johnson.
Yeah, a
first round pick, Chris Johnson.
Yeah,
it's a slower version.
A slower version, a little bit slower version. If you look at their measurables, they're about 5 to 10 pounds separation. The kid can move, man. The kid can hit the hole and then he's gone, brother. He runs like a hiccup, man. And he's got a little power behind his size. He's not the biggest dude in the world.
You know what he remind me of?
Who was that?
He remind me of a quicker, smaller version of Mr. 1200.
Who?
Devin Singletary.
Come on, man. Don't disrespect my guy like that, man.
All right, that's enough from Jules.
Faster. He's a little smaller, but he's just as tough. And his vision, his vision is just as good as Singletary. He's faster.
Hey, don't doubt Chris's comp, because if you doubt him again, he'll compare him to Barry Sanders. So
yeah, no, he's not a Barry Sanders type. The reason, and when you look at him, there was another comp I heard somebody said that was right on point. But he's not the Barry Sanders shake, and go. He's going to give you a couple moves and then he's gone. He's going to try to run you over and he's gone. He has enough speed to get to. I mean, this is Notre Dame. These are big name schools that he's doing this against.
I mean, he fits the scheme effortlessly.
I will say this: he is rated as the #1 zone running back coming into this draft.
Right.
And watching his highlights, unlike Dameon Pierce, when he sees a hole, he hits the hole.
And
he sees the hole. So
you're right. He sees it.
There's no wasted movements. There's no wasted steps. He's not tripping over his own feet. He sees the hole and he's gone, man.
He don't have a lot of wear and tear.
A lot of running backs usually, and I'll just say it, that get caught from behind on most of their runs. If you watch their runs, he very rarely gets caught from behind. They said I've seen 2 kickoff returns where he took them back 100 yards.
All I know is my safety and he'll run faster than he does. So I'm gonna put that out there like that.
Man, this kid has football speed because he only ran like a 4.50. I was expecting him to run a 4.3 or 4.2.
Lassiter got football speed, but we gonna kill. We stop killing my cornerback. Man.
So this is a comparison that I want to say right here.
Look how he ran, old boy.
Steve Slayton.
He compares to Steve Slayton. When
No, he does not. Man, let's not do that, boy.
You're always trying to compare somebody to Houston, Texas.
He is not.
Hey, you remember back in the day? You remember last year when people saying Damon Pierce was Aaron Foster?
Yeah.
Oh God.
And we roasted him. We roasted him too. And we're roasting him by to say he likes Steve Slayton.
Man, the thing about it is, you got a motherfucker like Joe Mixon, man, that can run your ass over. You get wore out like that, and then back though he takes a breather, and now you trying to chase this dude. It's gonna be
It's a 60-yard touchdown run.
60 yards, man. It makes it look effortless. I wanted him. I thought we was gonna go 2 running backs in this draft.
Only person thought that was you.
Yeah, I thought we should have went 2 running backs because we still need another running back.
We got 4.
Yeah,
we got 2. We got 2.
DP is still under contract.
2? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got 2 running backs.
Hey, but
and Dare.
But we do need to talk about the last few players, man. I know I'm giving Chris his moment with Gerard, but shout out to Gerard, man.
Hey. Shout out Binks.
I'm not the only one that had him pegged for us. I'm just glad we took him, man, because I was getting sad during the end of this draft. But
you was sad the moment they said Lassiter come out of his mouth. Oh, what the hell?
And they went fishing. I was like, what are we doing? I thought we should have just added speed.
Chris say we tripping, but he ain't Steve Slayton. Yvonne say you was crying.
You tripping because you smoking. You think that young man plays anywhere Steve Slayton plays. Steve Slayton didn't have that kind of talent.
You gotta realize too, Steve Slayton only had 1 year.
Right. So why are you comparing that young man to Steve Slayton? Because he's a Texan. Because Texan fans are emotional about their players.
But now let's talk about it, man. The next player that we drafted, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey, and if you listen if you listen, brother, please come on to the show, Johar. We love
Yeah.
We'll tag him in Twitter.
That H is fucking you up, Chris. It's Jamar.
Well, I think they call him Jaws, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they call him Jaws, man. But
he's from New York.
I'm not calling another grown man Jaws.
Hey, he runs for 1,200, and we'll call him whatever he wants.
Right.
But the next pick, this is gonna be quick because I don't know if y'all got something to say about him, but honestly, I'm still waiting on the people to tell me about him. We talking about Solomon Byrd, man.
Yeah, now this is another sleeper. Where my music at, man?
We ain't getting no music for him, bro.
All right, y'all better
no music for him.
This dude plays like Will Anderson, man.
Oh man!
Rewind that play.
Damn,
come on!
I'm telling you. When I told y'all wrong, besides
you told a lot of shit wrong. Let's not because you got Jar Jar Binks over there that you gonna think you gonna
King Sam pull up Slayton College highlights. Don't sleep on. He was great. West Virginia had a whole bunch of great
in
running
college.
Backs.
He was great in college, but he was not in the NFL.
Man,
let's stop it.
He's Christopher say to clarify, he talking about the running style of Steve Slayton.
Nah, they don't even run alike.
Hold on, Birdman flying to the. If y'all think he about to do something, okay. Show me, man. Show me.
Oh, he got 51 in his shirt. That's why everybody saying that well.
No, just watch how he get around that edge. Watch how he get up in the middle and mix it up, man.
Most of his highlights came against Stanford, one of the worst teams in college football.
He plays in the Pac-12.
And who the pack? Who the? And
But
they
Chris,
a
we
great
looking at a
Pac-12 team.
highlight. Hold on, Chris. We looking at a highlight package, and I think at 5 or 6 of
Arizona
his
State,
highlights,
bro.
5 or
Trash.
6 of his highlights came against
He just
goddamn
he
Stanford.
3 Arizona. What you call it? I mean Cardinal shit.
Complete side note: I'll never forget that Stanford Colorado game.
Did you just see that? Did you just see that? That boy got Ben, man. I'm telling you, that boy plays like Will Anderson, bro. He gonna surprise a lot of people, man.
He played like Will Anderson versus a Rice College team. You right.
Nah, y'all don't. The thing is, nobody paid him no attention, so we didn't care.
Shit, neither 32 teams drafted in the 6th round.
Well, I'm glad we got him. Whoever we was watching the right shit.
Hold on, Brandon say highlights versus bad team sounds more like a Dolphin or a Cowboy. And then he's Blue Boy Shine say agree. Never call another grown man Jaws.
Right. Highlights against Colorado with no O line, who has no O line whatsoever.
Well, it took on 2 blocks.
Let me put it like this: the Pac-12 is not known for offensive linemen. This past
year he is.
No, he not.
Yeah, come on, bro.
No, he said there he is. He wasn't saying the Pac-12 is no. Outside of Oregon, outside of Jackson Powell's.
Where do you think Penny Sue came from?
Yeah,
Oregon. But that's why I said this past year and year before.
Where do you think all them dudes from UCLA and USC come from, bro?
What dudes?
What about
Oregon's had him over the years.
What about Fashu from Oregon State just now? What about the dude from Utah the last year?
And none of his highlights come from some teams you mentioned.
Come on, bro.
And none of them teams you mentioned that he playing against right now.
So you think 72 gonna be drafted next year?
Nah.
72, the one he just beat.
I don't know. You don't know, bro.
I could have sworn that UFC had the worst defense they ever had in 50 years.
It's a defense. It's not an offense.
Well, he's part of defense. Ain't he not? Does he play offense?
Saying Pac-12 offenses put up a lot of points, man, because the defenses aren't so good.
And that means your pass rushers get a lot of opportunities to make sacks and plays.
Well, then that mean our safety we picked up ain't shit either, then, right?
Hey, I like his speed.
What? Oh. Using your logic.
Bullock knows how to swim.
All right. Hey.
Then that mean Bullock ain't shit, right?
I ain't say he wasn't shit.
No,
I'm not saying Ed Reed either.
But I'm just saying you trying to make.
I'm not saying he's Ed Reed. I'm not saying he's unwinnable.
Nobody either.
Yes, you are. You say Will Anderson.
Jules and Chris.
Year last year.
Jules and Chris.
I know you like your boy. I got you scouted him. That's fine.
Anderson, bro.
You scouted him. That's fine. You got you.
Jules and Chris. I need both of y'all to calm it down so we can move on. Cause I for damn sure did not expect us to be talking this damn long on Solomon Byrd.
Because you don't know how to watch. If this was Edrin Cooper, we'd still be talking about him from the second round.
This Edrin Cooper, it just be me by myself, solo dolo. I run the whole goddamn episode on Edrin Cooper.
The D tackle.
But let's move on, man. Let's talk about the next pick. Let's talk about Marcus Harris.
Hey, people out there, y'all trust your own eyes, man.
Hey, but I do trust my eyes on Marcus Harris. I do think he's gonna be a dog.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. What the fuck, dog?
Marcus Harris, all SEC defensive tackle.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, okay. Okay, Alabama fan. Marcus Harris was a damn good
over Solomon.
Hell yeah, I like him over
this
Solomon.
This dude is a stack blocker, man. All he do is stack blocks, bro.
He ain't stacking. Now play. He up here. He done penetrated damn near every play.
No, he not. He made one tackle on the other side of his line of scrimmage.
Chris, what did you watch the first 2 or 3 highlights?
It was the second highlight.
No.
Come on, bro.
I'm with Chris on this one, though.
The dude arms are short, man.
I'm with Chris on this one.
He has a high motor, man.
A high motor.
He has a wicked first step. Hold on, he got a wicked first step, and he got violent hands. He got violent hands, man. He's a hellified.
He plays with
defensive tackle. Okay, look at that in the backfield. Look at that.
Take the tackle.
He brings a lunch pail to work every day.
Look, Christopher Austin say, man, Will Anderson Jr. comparison, and y'all thought my Steve Slayton crazy.
Hey, that's the truth. Chris, I got you. I'm the truth. You know, you're right. You're right. You're 100% correctly.
Oh, look at that high motor.
Mm.
He brings his lunch pail to work every day.
Oh shit! Oh, look at that wicked first step.
No, the high motor dude. That means he'll be gone in 3 years.
He's a try hard.
Mind you, we talking about 7-round picks at this point, people.
Dude ain't making the team, bro.
He gonna make the team. I think he make the team.
Probably will actually.
He'll make the practice, bro.
Him and Heinisch. He gonna give Heinisch a run for his money.
I got $100 right now. Say that dude is not making the first 53.
I mean, that's not a real hot take because he's at 7th round.
It's hot. The way y'all talking is hot.
Hold on.
Okay, he's got a better chance of making the 53 than Byrd does of being Will Anderson.
I'll make that bet too. I will make that bet too.
Let me say this, man. Brandon, he said the only way that man has a high motor is if he smokes first. Yeah, damn. But no, he was a very, very productive player at Auburn. And then Mr. Robot said, yeah, okay, he might beat out Heinisch.
Heinisch ain't making the roster.
Heinisch probably does by default.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you got it, Chris. We only got look at the defensive tackles. You have Fadakowski, and you have Tim Settle, and you have Khalil Davis, and you have Kurt Heinisch.
Right.
Those are your 4 defensive tackles right now.
Outside of
the
hybrid.
Yeah, outside of Autry.
You got Fadakowski, Tim Settle, Khalil Davis, and Danico Autry. That's your 4.
Danico Autry, I mean, he's gonna play inside some, but he's not a defensive tackle.
He's a hybrid. He's a
hybrid, but he's not
going to count for D tackle because you got Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Derek Barnett, Marcus Harris. I mean, not Marcus Harris. Solomon Byrd.
Heinisch sacked Lamar Jackson in the playoffs.
And Solomon Byrd. I don't know. I hope he makes it, man.
We'll see, man. But let's move on, man. Y'all got me yawning now because we getting down to the last one. But this last player we about to talk about, ain't nothing to yawn about this motherfucker. He said, can we check out Jordan Jank? I think hey, LaSlime, that's gonna be one of our next episodes. We're gonna have an episode on our undrafted free agents, and we'll talk about both the Jank brothers. I don't like saying his name though. And we don't have a top 20 DT on his roster. I like Autry, but he will not hold up every down at DT. I agree. That's why he's a hybrid and he won't play primary. He's not a primary defensive tackle. He'll be a defensive tackle on passing situations for damn sure, but he's not going to be primarily a defensive tackle in this defense.
Maybe half and half.
Yeah, half and half, but that mean he ain't primarily.
This tackle.
Let's talk about the last. He ain't a tackle. That's the problem, Jules.
He's going to start.
He's a football player.
He's
a football player.
I guarantee y'all he will start a D tackle.
Who?
Danico Autry.
Nah, Chris, we can bet on that. Bet on it.
Y'all think they paid him $11 million not to start, man?
He may be designated as a starter, but he's going to split reps.
See, I don't mind joking around and shit with people, but then when people try to joke around and then try to play like a motherfucker stupid, that's one thing, bro. There's no way we gave that dude $11 million not to start, bro.
No, he's going to have starter reps.
Yeah.
He's going to be splitting.
I just feel like
edge, and
I don't think.
There's no way you're going to move Will Anderson out of no spot. And there's no way you're going to keep Danielle Hunter off the field.
Blue boy say, let's bet on it, Chris. I think he's going to be an integral. So this is the thing. I think Danico Autry allows them to play 5 down linemen on a lot of different situations. Mm-hmm. And you end up instead of running a 4-2-5, you end up running a 4-2-4. A 5-2-4, should I say. And
no way.
Trust and believe, Chris. I think 5'2", 4". I know it sounds weird as hell, but I think he allows them. I think it is going to be downs where you have the Nico Autry.
5'2", 4", bro.
I
You
mean,
don't have
Philly
enough
does
dudes-
that shit. Yeah.
You're not gonna have enough dudes to cover these wide outs.
But then hold on, Mike. Say it again, Mike.
Philly does that shit.
Philly run that 5'2", 4".
Not every play, but you know.
Look, so he said Archery. Brandon said Archery is just as big as Armstead. Now let's clear the air because we're not saying that Archery is not going to be an integral and key factor. He's going to be one of the top players on our defense. Period.
Yes.
So it's just we get into the little finer details on if he's a starter. Like when they roll out on the big screen in the first game of the season, is he gonna be listed as a starter or what they gonna do? All the type that's neither here nor there. But he is gonna play a hell of a lot, and I think he's gonna be an integral part on this defense. But I don't think that takes away from the depth of the defensive tackle position because you have the inconsistency. Chris, you said it. You've been saying it all season. You don't have a lot of faith in Fadakowski and Tim Settle, especially Tim Settle.
I got faith in Fadakowski. Tim Settle, somewhat I do. I mean, if he comes in 1 or 2 plays, yeah, but to sit down and start, he's not really a starter. But he's got a good motor too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing is when you, as a general manager, when you allocate when you allocate money and you allocate assets, those are the people that are going to get the benefit of the doubt first. That's just the way the football happens. Like Daniil Hunter, $25 million. You think he's going to sit down so Danico can start?
No.
I don't think he starts. I think he's the first lineman in rotation.
Why would you give a dude $11 million to do that?
Because that's what they want to do. That's my opinion.
And that's the guy that they wanted, so they had to pay to get him. But let's talk about Larius Henderson, who I think we had this discussion pre-show, and I think at the beginning of the show, I think he makes this roster.
Yeah, easily.
I think he definitely makes this roster. Jules disagrees. I think Mike said he's going to be practice squad. But just watch the nastiness of Larius Henderson. Now, this is the type of offensive lineman I would have been happy with picking in the 7th round. I was happy with this pick.
Right.
Not picking now. Just imagine if we would have picked him at pick 59.
Right. Not knowing if he was going to start or not.
So, but I mean, look, he blocking for the Heisman Trophy winner. At Arizona State, Jaden Daniels. Now that was a little lazy rip right there, but
was that our old running back?
Oh yeah, the one we had brought in and
Valladay,
yeah. Now this is him in Michigan. This is why he's not a tackle because he gets pushed back a lot.
He's a guard, ain't he?
He's a guard, and this is why I don't know why. I mean, he had some decent reps at tackle, but watching these highlights and everything, he was getting beat consistently at tackling. Oh shit!
Ooh,
good God!
What happened? Rewind that. I thought he was playing left guard. What is he playing?
He playing when he went to Michigan, he had to play tackle.
What number is it?
73 in Michigan.
I get beat.
I kept looking at 77 the whole time.
Yeah, no, that's the white boy. Now watch. Now, see, he getting beat damn near every play on this highlight.
And that's why they start running the ball 95% of the time the rest of the way against Penn
watch
State.
this play. This is crazy. Oh shit. I don't know.
Did he slip on a banana peel?
Right.
I don't understand how he did that.
This is your first round quarterback, Minnesota Vikings. That's one thing I will say, that they got 2 maulers in the run game in Henderson and Fisher. Something that I feel like this offensive line needs, especially when added on with Kenyon Green when he gets on the field and shows out this year. Shout out KG.
You think he replaced Mason eventually?
Of course, yeah. I think Mason may be gone after this year, to be honest with you. I think they looking for the future, and I think they probably gonna cut ties with Mason. Did they restructure Mason's contract?
Not this time.
They didn't restructure this. They restructured Titus. They didn't restructure Mason.
They did 2.
Yeah,
I think they did Mason.
Yeah, it was Mason. It had to be Mason because
Right.
Tunsil didn't get restructured.
Mm-mm.
So, oh yeah, and he said Henderson is from South Dallas. He from Waxahachie, man.
Mm-mm.
God damn it! I don't like no Dallas. Let me get that out of here.
No deep what?
No Dallas, man. I said Dallas. There y'all go.
So, what makes y'all think we're getting rid of Shaq Mason?
I think about a year or two.
Well, I think Shaq is old. I think Shaq is gonna retire soon.
I mean, he's 31. In
Yeah,
O-line
old.
years, that's not that old.
But for
Yeah,
white
old.
guard though, it is so.
As much mileage as he has, because he played as soon as he got here.
All right. Your right guard still got a
Well, not here, but in
run block.
NFL, should I say? Well, we'll see, man. I think that Shaq Mason would be somebody you can replace to move on to get younger at the offensive line and save some money. But I don't know what the cap hit and all that would be to release him after this year.
Quite a bit.
Probably 2 years. He gone 2 years.
Hell, it looked like we drafted a lineman to take up the plays of all the people that we about to lose in 2 years.
They all got contracts around the same time for CJ make his money.
I mean, because Shaq's a free agent in 2027.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of them are. Him, Titus, Tunsil. All of them are free agents in 2027. The whole offensive line except Kenyon Green.
And Juice.
And Juice Scruggs. But I mean, look at him. His tackle.
He can
his
move
tackle
pretty
tape
good.
leaves a lot to be desired, which is why he probably got picked in the 7th round.
That's worthy of a top 10 pick right there.
Yeah, Lord. Oh.
He can move.
I mean, we had a
Hey,
solid draft.
do one favor. Put on the Nico Autry if you got 2 minutes.
Then Brandon say, I think they draft a 1st round left tackle next year. All right, Brandon. All right.
We got about a minute before the show's over.
Yeah,
It's almost out of there.
Yeah, it's
I was
almost
gonna
time.
say play some Danico, man, so y'all can see he lines up on the inside a lot.
So that's something again that we're gonna do. I know we're gonna have an episode on the undrafted free agents, but we are gonna do a position breakdown of each position. So we are gonna have those episodes where we talk about the Nico Autry, Tim Settle, Fadakowski and Heinisch and Davis and prayers up to Dylan Horton. Hopefully Dylan Horton comes back. Yeah. Dylan Horton was an excellent player the first half of the season before he had to,
my guy.
Go down. Shout out to Jules. Chris, you had Gerard Jordan. This year, Jules had Dylan Horton. Last year, Jules was calling for Dylan Horton forever, and we drafted him, and he actually played damn good the first half of the season before having to kind of I don't want to say semi-retire, but having to sit out the rest of the season because of his cancer diagnosis. So
that's a good call.
And let me tell you, y'all just wait for John Mechie and Kenyon Green take a big step forward. We're going to become insufferable.
You ain't going. Hey, y'all gonna hate AD.
Hey,
as much shit as I took for Kenyon Green, and this motherfucker come out and start and become an All-Pro or at least a Pro Bowler, y'all, I'ma talk the king shit. Y'all ain't
in the grand scheme of this team, we need both players to show out.
We need all of them too.
So, right, we need everybody. And Chris, I know you made a statement earlier. Mr. Robot said Kamari Lassiter is my pick. I hope he does well. We all hope he does well. We hope every player that we drafted does well on this roster. You made a point about drafting starters. I honestly think the way Nick moved this offseason, I don't think there is a player that we could have drafted that would have been an immediate starter on this team.
Nah, not the way that he filled up this roster.
Right. And so I think this was the depth draft. And you know what? Can y'all name me a sexy pick from Kansas City's draft last year?
This year or last year?
Last year, not this year. Last year. We know Worthy is the sexy pick for Kansas City this year, which is why they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. And I'll go down my conspiracy theory about that in another episode.
Wasn't their receiver draft last year? Their receiver?
Rice.
I had mixed feelings about him.
He wasn't no sexy pick. He was a 2nd-round pick.
I mean, for them that was because they wanted somebody with speed.
But he was like the 5th or 6th. He was like the 6th or 7th wide receiver taken.
Well,
Like
they picked damn last. They're last in the
no,
draft.
no. They picked at the bottom of the first round. They got him in the second round.
Right.
What about
He wasn't even their first pick.
What about the defensive end?
That's the one they picked in the first round.
Karlaftis?
Garnafas.
No, that wasn't a sexy pick.
It ain't a sexy pick. He was all right.
Yeah.
He wasn't no sexy pick though. That's what I'm saying. Like if you look at their draft the last 2 years,
When's out?
well, CJ is the sexy pick.
Yes.
So is Will Anderson.
Tank Dell.
Yeah, Tank Dell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hell, we had
Gerard Jordan.
Kenyon Green.
Kenyon Green. Derek Stingley.
Here's a name that I want y'all to remember. His name is Jared Wayne. He was a receiver from Pitt that we picked up last year as an undrafted free agent. I think if he gets a shot to show what he can do, I think he might can crack into that 6. If Mechie and Hutchinson don't watch out, the dude's about 6'4", 205. I think he got a chance of showing somebody some shit.
Yeah, hey, Blue Boy Shine said it wasn't last year that they drafted the cornerback you're talking about. It's McDuffie. It was 2 years ago that they drafted McDuffie.
Yeah.
In the first round. And if you want to be a prisoner of the moment, people were scratching the hell out of their head when they drafted McDuffie in the first round.
Right.
People did not have McDuffie as a first round corner, and he was drafted at the bottom of the first round. And
I like McDuffie.
I like him. We all like him, but people, it was a lot, huh?
No, I said I liked McDuffie.
Yeah, but I'm saying like it was very few and far in between. Mm-hmm. Like when people like McDuffie, people didn't like McDuffie in the first round.
Yeah, at that time.
And you have to go back to that moment and realize that in that moment, people were like, "What the hell?"
But
like,
KC does their damage in the mid rounds.
They do.
And this is where I feel like this was a Kansas City type of draft. In the middle and bottom of the draft, we get Cade Stover, we get Jamal Hill, we get goddamn Gerard Jordan. Like you get these type of players who are going to be impact players. You get Calen Bullock in the third round. You know what I mean? Just to go into your point of what you're saying, Chris, they do the damage in the middle rounds. Nick Caserio did a lot of damage in the middle rounds last year with Juice Scruggs, with Tank Dell, with Dylan Horton,
right?
With goddamn Henry Noah.
His mama gave him a name, man. You get that man his proper name.
I called him Henry. I called him Henry. Noah's you talking about the daddy. His mama gave him Henry. Daddy gave him the other name.
So Dylan Horton is scheduled to come back.
Prayerfully. Yeah, I think he said he's in remission or something right now,
that's
right?
Good, man. That's good for him.
So Christian Harris as well was a middle round pick. Nico Collins, third round. Third round is a sweet spot. So whoever was drafted in third round, you gonna hit with Nick Caserio because he ain't missed on the third round in the last 3 years.
Let's get about 10 third-round picks next year.
Right. But nah, man, we coming to an end of this episode, man. I want to appreciate, right around the 300 people that's watching us live, man, on an off week, even though, unsullied by guests. Just hearing us talk ball, man. I appreciate y'all in the comments. Brandon, Blue Boy, Mr. Robot, Yvonne, shout out Auntie Swan in the chat, LaSlime, Christopher Austin, King Sam on Twitter in the chat, TJ Williams, Jacoby Hopkins always in the chat, Corey Byrd, of course, Larry Payton, all of these people that's been on the podcast, King Flocka. Just want to shout out to everybody, man, and appreciate y'all all. Shout out DJ Waller as well, and the Just Fans podcast for hopping on as well, and Texans Fan in Rehab, and of course our Rockets host Preston all jumped on the chat and had a conversation with us today and talked about the players that we drafted in 2024 NFL draft. We appreciate y'all and we thank y'all all, man. Go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button it ain't at the bottom. Hold on, let me make sure I got it. There you go. Y'all go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the podcast and each one of our profiles on Twitter. And y'all, of course, we always got the spaces going, and the content is always flowing from the H-Town Rundown. So shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate everybody.
Yeah.
Shout out to my co-host Mike G, Jules, and of course C Roy. This has been another great episode of the H-Town Rundown. Y'all be sure to see us next week when we see y'all, man. Peace.
We out.
Road to New Orleans.